Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Socially Sound. I'm Kirsty.
And I'm Sarah.
I know it's been a while since we did our last episode. Just to let you know, this topic that we're going to discuss is not really a happy topic, but we think it's really important to discuss. So if you are a disabled person and you feel like you might be upset by this topic, please feel free to skip. The topic is going to be talking about the bill that has just recently been backed in Parliament and can possibly become legal. It is the Assisted Dying Bill. So this bill means that people who are terminally ill or mentally competent can decide that they would like to have an assisted death. At the moment it's not legal, but it could become legal. So we're going to talk about this and how we feel, especially because we're both deaf and I identify as disabled and you do too.
Yes.
So, want to talk about this? How do you feel?
It's a very nuanced conversation. There's many factors to consider here. For me, the way I see it, if you are mentally competent, then that's fine. You can make those decisions for yourself. You have full informed consent. And that's good, go for it. Especially if you've been suffering for a long while and it is your choice, that's fine. But my concern is those who are disabled but also can't consent for themselves, especially when it comes to medical decisions, is it really theirs to make? No. So how do you ensure that they progress to that stage where the person can consent? But do they know what they're consenting for? Do they understand the process? But also, there's other factors to consider. I think back in 2022, it was a while ago, where someone in Canada, a disabled man, went and asked and applied for assisted dying. Why? He wasn't ill. It was poverty. He was worried that he would become homeless. He was worried about finances. And a doctor actually authorised it. So my concern is, if, let's say, it becomes legal and that's all good, and we start opening up the procedure to other people, when other people are applying for other reasons other than illness, then that can blur the line. It can blur the importance of assisted dying and for who it is for. I think it's fine if you're suffering pain and you know you will die anyways, so it's another way of dying, that's fine. But my concern is disabled people who can't consent for themselves, people who are struggling with finances, poverty, other reasons. So it's a very complex, nuanced situation for me. I don't know.
And the sad reality is, maybe people will disagree, but I feel that when people do apply for assisted dying, whether it's because of mental health or whatever, those issues often happen because of what's happening in the world. So social issues, if you're being oppressed, discriminated, you're facing barriers, and you end up having mental health issues because of that. And that leads towards people wanting to die. And it's sad because I feel like a lot of these people and those issues could be solved if the world just improved. That's it, really. But for me personally, when I think about my personal situation, like my grandma, she had a stroke and then she had severe dementia as a result of that. And she forgot me, she forgot her own son, and she forgot family, and that situation, and herself. She'd even told me if that had happened to her in the future, if she'd got dementia or whatever, she wouldn't want to be in a care home, she'd want to die. And she told me that. But that option wasn't there then, so I'm 50-50 about that.
That's the thing though, I feel like if we piggyback off what Kirsty has just said, if someone in the family had previously said, if anything is to happen, please just finish it, do you take that seriously? Or do you just care for them until they do pass away, but at the same time, are you not just disrespecting their wishes?
Right.
by just looking after them and not actually letting them die when they say, please don't let it get serious. It's very nuanced. And for people looking out like family, they're very uncertain. Can you really agree with their decision? Can you really let them have assisted dying? Or is that really what's best for them? So it's very heavy. It's a very heavy topic. And going back to what you said about depression, there's a lot of people who struggle with depression, anorexia, many other things who feel like the only option is to die. What can you do for them? Can you help resolve those issues, or is it really that serious for you to say, okay, we'll let you have assisted dying? And we were just talking about this. There was someone, I don't know how recent it is, but I found out about it recently. There was a woman who was about 22. She planned everything to the T. She planned her funeral, planned the death date. She got a tattoo of the death date. And she let her family members know everything. She saw the coffin that she was going into before she went into the room. And by law, I think this is in the Netherlands, by law the doctor has to ask one last time, are you sure you want to do this? And as she was ready and would ask, she changed her mind. So what will happen in that situation? If someone said, no, I don't want to do this anymore, that's another legal issue. What if the doctor says, well, it's too late, you have to proceed? Like, do you say, okay, we'll stop? Like, what's the process after that?
Exactly.
So, like, I don't know, it's a very nuanced.
And one last thing that I have, like, is my concern about if this does become legal in 2 years and it's passed and it's a bill, what does it mean for other things? Like, could it go towards eugenics? Eugenics is such a hot topic in the deaf community. There's often discussions like, oh, if you had the option to become hearing, would you take that? Some people say no, but then there's other people that say, actually, yeah, I would. But if this bill that's been backed now becomes legal, does that mean, or how does that impact or influence discussions in Parliament about eugenics?
Yeah.
But what do you think? Do you agree, or do you have a different point of view? Do you feel the same as us? Tell us, let us know.
Thank you for watching. I'm going to research into this a bit more. I'm very on the fence. I understand, but at the same time it's very emotional.
And we are not experts, we are not professionals in this area, it's just our personal opinions, that's it. So please don't watch this and think, yes, I agree, you know what you're talking about. Just form your own opinions.
Yeah, just to let you know, because I know there's a lot of news and a lot of deaf people don't always have access to it. So how do you become aware of these things?
Mm-hmm.
And some people may not even known that this bill was in the process. Maybe they were clueless. So,
or maybe some people feel like, oh, is it legal now? No, it's not legal.
Yeah. So there need to be resources in BSL so that people can understand this situation a bit more. That's why, going back to what I was saying about disabled people, deaf people, having access to make sure they have full consent, understanding and saying, yeah, I agree to this procedure. Do you really know what you're doing? Do you know what's going to happen, how it's going to go? So this situation, this topic needs to be fully accessible for people to understand what's going on and what the options are for them.
I completely agree.
Well, we'll see you in the next episode. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.